CAS is the Conference Committee on the Application of Standards. We'll be sitting on that committee representative of governments, of employers and of workers representative, and they will be discussing how member states are applying international labor standards. The two main characteristics of that committee are engagement and constructive dialogue between the members sitting on that committee, and on the other hand, the adoption of concrete and actionable conclusion at the end. The second thing to know about the CAS this year is that it will be discussing occupational safety and health standards with a specific focus on three high-risk sectors: mining, construction and agriculture. The fact that, based on conservative estimates, a worker dies every 15 seconds from occupational injuries or diseases suffices in itself to prove that that discussion is extremely important and relevant. The third thing the CAS will be discussing is how member states are complying with their obligation to submit reports to the supervisory bodies on how they implement ratified convention and how they submit newly adopted instruments to their national parliament. This is important because without that information, the supervisory system and the CAS in itself will not be in a position to have a discussion about how member states are applying international labor standards. The fourth thing the CAS will be doing, it will be calling upon 24 countries for which problems of non-compliance with ratified conventions have been identified in areas such as fundamental labor rights, for instance, namely freedom of association, collective bargaining, or prohibition of forced labor, child labor, discrimination, but also in areas such as labor inspection, wages, social security, to name just a few. Through this discussion, member states are held accountable for the conventions they have ratified. The fifth thing to know about the CAS is that all this discussion will lead to very concrete conclusions. Those conclusions will lead member states to undertake a number of actions to make progress towards implementing those standards. The office will, as a result, also provide its technical assistance to accompany those member states in making progress towards international labor standards. So this is how the ILO maintains the relevance of its international labor standards and ensuring actually that they make a real difference in every single workplace around the world.